would like to welcome you to our webinar series More Efficient Work with CADISON. Our today's issue is a short introduction to our form editor. Michael Brückner and Frank Schnitzler will guide you through today's webinar. My name is Frank Schnitzler and I would like to start the presentation. Recently, a new edit window has been added to CADISON. Within this formula, you are able to fill out and viewing only those properties of CADISON you are really interested in. These formulas can be customized by you. In the past, only by editing XML files. Now we edit in separate formula editor, which will help you to arrange the fields. So the target of formula editor is to have a handy tool for creation and modification of XML formula files. So, no more complex editing strange XML files. Instead of this, we will edit the XML file in a handy tool where we can see the structure visualized on the screen. After starting the formula editor, you will be asked if you want to create a new formula or edit an existing one. That is the easiest answer for today. For a first look inside the user interface, we will open an existing one. Once we found the right folder with our XML form, we will see the user interface. The structure of the interface is quite easy to understand. On the left-hand side, we will find all the properties available for the opened object class. In the middle of the screen, the formula is displayed. On the right-hand side, the properties of the selected field can be added, which were position and size and other appearance items. On top of the user interface, you can find controls for inserting text, images, tables and control buttons like adding or removing catalog entries. Let us have a view inside the folder structure where all the XML files can be found. Following your CADISON domain path via config and forms, the first landing point is the root path of the formulas. In here you will see two other folders named OCF and OEF, which stands for Object Creation Form and Object Edit Form. Depending on the action inside CADISON, either edit an object or create a new one, you are able to define two different formula files. Inside the chosen folder, all the XML files were present. For example, let's say that we have multiple user groups and user configured in our CADISON system. In my environment, I have set up two user groups called Construction and Project Management. Inside these groups, we will find only one user called Construction and PM for the Project Manager. Both of them must have set the property Use Input Forms set to Yes. In the next step, we will create two separate input forms for these two different users. For setting up different input forms for different user groups, we will follow the diagram which can be found in the online help of CADISON Engineer. In this example, we will have a look into the user groups. For this, we have to create a new folder called Groups. What else we can read is that we have to name the XML file like the object class, underscore, and then the name of the user group. In the next step, we will change an existing form to fit our needs. Let us take the standard input form for straight valve and change it. From the construction group, let's change the following. We will delete the manufacturer, the part number, specification general, and we will erase the buttons for attaching and detaching the catalog entries. For the project manager, we will change it like this. Erase the subplant ID, the code character, and we will set pipeline tag number to read-only so that project manager cannot change that value. Maybe he will be interested in the price. We will add this field into our input form. First of all, we will create necessary folder structure. We will have to create a new folder called Groups under Config Forms OEF. The next step is to copy an existing form into our new folder. This existing form will be phi-pvls.xml for the object class of the straight valves. After that, we now can open the form editor. First, we have to open an existing XML file. Then we navigate to our new folder called Groups. In this, we open the copied XML file. The next step should be to save this as a new XML file under a new name. Move the mouse to the upper left corner and select Save As. As we have seen before, we only have to add the user group to the name, so the new name has to be phi-pvls underscore construction.xml. Now we can start removing the fields we want to get rid of. After our modification, it should look like this. That was easy, only deleting fields. In the next example, we have also to add a new field and change the property of an existing one. So let's go ahead to the project manager's input form. First step should be to save as the existing file to phi-pvls underscore projectmanagement.xml. For changing the control properties to read-only, just select the input field in the form and then search the line in the appearance section on the right-hand side. Once found it, set it to true. For adding a new field into our form, just search the property you want to add in the area on the left-hand side. The property price, you can move it to the form by drag and drop with your mouse. To arrange all the fields, you can select one entry and change the position values manually on the right-hand side. How to arrange them manually we will see later on in the live presentation. Well, let's see if our forms are correctly changed. We have to log into our CADISON either as project manager or construction user. We will start with construction user. After logging in and selecting the proper project, we can edit a straight valve and see which input form will appear. As you can see, the two fields for adding and removing catalog entries were missing, as well as the other fields we erased earlier. That was okay. Let's see what Project Manager will say. As well as before, we have to select proper project and edit a straight valve. Here we can see the result of our changes. Some fields were gone and some other fields are visible, like the catalog price, for example. Well, let's see how we can implement these changes forms into our daily work with CADISON. As an example, we will use the Logic Analyzer functions. Logic Analyzer container can be opened by right-click on the project's root. But how to create new container if none exists? Logic Analyzer check routines were located in the folder of your CADISON domain. It's under Config English or German depending on the language you have installed, and then the object class. Here we choose phi-an. Check routines does have the extension CHK. As you can see, I already have prepared a check file for our example here. Now we have to go to the extra menu inside Engineer. In the window which opens, on the top you can see our self-made check routine for checking of existing catalog entries. Just select this and hit the OK button. The new window shows up all found entries on the search. Once you select a check routine, it is automatically added to our analyzer container. To choose the category, either show all items or only those which does not have any catalog entry attached. Deselect the checkbox in the desired area. Because we are logged in as the project manager, we are able to add a catalog entry here. If we logged in as a construction, we were not able to add or remove catalog entries because of the different input forms. Okay, now we are through the presentation for now, and we will switch to the live presentation in my live system. Okay, so before we start, we shall check if we have the proper user groups available in CADISON. I open the project and document manager and log in as the admin or anybody else who has administrative rights in CADISON. I will navigate to my user management and check my user groups. I have the construction group, I have project management group, everything fine. And now I will check if the settings are correct for the use input forms, set to yes, and as well for the project manager, input forms set to yes. That's good. Well, let us start with copying our template XML file into the group folder of my form editor. For this I open the Windows Explorer and under my local domain, config and forms, it's the OEF for the editor, and here I will create a new folder called group. So then I will look for my PVLS file, which will be my template. I hit the Ctrl and C for copy, and over here Ctrl V to paste it. So the first preparation work has been done. Now I can open my form designer and I will open an existing form, and this existing form is under Forms, OEF and Groups, and this for the straight valves. As you can see on the left hand side, there were all the properties available for the object class straight valves. Everything is present here. And in the middle you can see this input form. Remember that the admin of CADISON can change the settings for each separate user. If we will see the normal edit window with all the details of properties, or if the user will see this input form instead. How to open the detailed window while editing an object we will see later on. When I select any entry, in my form, you will see on the right hand side the properties of the settings of it. The size of area over here, the position. If the field is mandatory or not, you can see here, and if the field is set to read only or not, and you see also the CADISON internal name of this object field here. Before we start changing anything inside this form, it is our original one, we have to save this form under a new name. So we move to the left corner over here and hit the Save As button. We are still in OEF, the groups, and we will save this form under a new name, which is called Project Management. Okay, we can see it over here, it is Project Management, and right away we also will save this as the construction. And we will see this is also saved here. Okay, so let us erase the properties we do not need anymore. That was the manufacturer. This was the part number. I will select and hit the delete button on my keyboard. Specification general, it's over here. And I will delete these two buttons over here for attaching and detaching the catalog entries. Okay, so before we go on, we shall save this with a button over here. And we will open now the form for the project management group. In here I will delete the subplant ID, this one, and the code character is here. I will delete this. Great. The next step will be that I will set the field pipeline tag number to read only, so that the project manager is not able to change this tag number anymore. I will select the field, the input field, and over the right side there is the field read only, and I will set this to true. Now I would like to add the property price into our form. For this I will look on the left side and yes, got it, catalog price. The internal name is price. Just drag and drop it with your mouse into your form, paste it here, and now you can either move with your mouse this field to the place you want to, or you can check the coordinates of the above text, for example, and you can highlight this and set it to, it was 20, and same thing I will do, it's 160, and I will also input here 160. Well, to add a little gadget, I will insert a picture over here. Inserting pictures or text or tables or additional buttons. You can do it from the menu bar over here. Just select image and draw a square here where you will place it. Over here you can select now the image file which shall be displayed over here, but for this I need to copy my image I want to display into my folder of the groups. Once I have done this, I can go to the 3 points over here, select the JPEG format, select my image, go to open, and I can place it here. Great. So before I close my program, I shall save this. Okay, so let's see what we have. Before we start, we will check the logic analyzer routines. I will open again my Windows Explorer, go to config, in this case English, go to FIAN, and looking for this file, check existing catalog entries. Okay, it's present, that's great. And for setting up the logic analyzer container, I will go to my engineer and open this as, let's say, construction. Go to my project, and I already have prepared a structure view so that I see only my valves. That makes it quite easy for this example. So for setting up the logic analyzer container, I will go to the extras menu, go to logic analyzer and select this entry, create logic analyzer container. In this list I will see all the check files available in my English environment, and for this I will select this check existing catalog entries and hit the OK button. Okay, so now I see every result in my list over here, and I can go to my category and deselect this entry over here, valve with catalog entry. I only want to see all the valves without any catalog entry. And now I can add the straight valve over here. Okay, so as I expected, the construction user is not able to attach or detach any catalog entry over here, and also for example, the price is not present and some other items were missing. Okay, so let's close this and let's open the project engineer with the project manager. Also over here my structure view. For opening the logic analyzer container, I now can hit the right mouse button on top of the project and select to show my analyzer container, because somebody else has created already one and I'm able to call this one. Show all logic analyzer containers. This button over here, if selected, is showing only my own containers, but I know that my colleague already has created one, so I'm able to check this and go to open. Now I can go to the category, deselect it, and select all I want to edit later on. Hit the right mouse button, edit objects, and here I see now, and now I shall see over here the correct form, but I made a mistake earlier. So you see no image, no price, and so on. No problem. I know what I have done. I took the wrong name over here. It is Project Management with an E. Once I changed it, I can go back over here and you see the correct form will be displayed. I've got the catalog price, which is calculated somewhere, and I've got the pipeline tag number, which is read-only. I can't change it. Down here I have my two buttons for attaching, detaching catalog entries, and I have my image over here. Now to go through the selected objects, I can use these arrows down here. I can switch to the second, to the third, and so on. And I can also go backwards. For displaying the details of this object, I can go to this button over here, the object properties, and in here you will see all the details of this object. Okay, so that's all for now, all for this webinar. For further information about the forms, please have a look into the online help of CADISON. I hope to see you soon in the next webinar session. For now, I will thank you very much for listening. Take care and goodbye.